and good morning. Good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? I turned that down a little too low, didn't I? Let's turn that back up a little bit. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. FTG Thursday on the Morning Night Live, where we give some people the business. We might give them the bird, we might give them the business. I don't know what you call it, but sometimes you just got to say FTG. We got a few of those today. We got a bunch of stuff today. I'm just between Twitter and a couple of aggregators that I use. It should be a pretty interesting morning, as I try to make every morning interesting on the show. So anyway, we'll get into that more. Let's see, did I already send these out? Yes, I did. So I think we're almost ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Play the intro. Wait a minute. Where's the intro? There it is. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
All right, stop the music. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet, the quiet P-Dog Night. Don't know why that's happening. Let's see if I can fix that. What the hell's going on here? Anyway, I am happy you are here. And I'm happy I'm here. And I'm happy we're all here. It's going to be a lovely day on this Thursday. I see there's quite a few people already popped in, so let's say good morning, and then we'll just get into it, because I got a lot of stuff to go through. So let's see how much I can get through today. First in the chat today. Oh, wait, whoa. What's going on here? What the hell happened? Un momento, por favor. All right, make sure this is working. Yeah, that's good. Okay. First in the chat today is our friend Tyler Alexander, who gets the bell. And thank you for joining us today. Also, good morning to Advocatus Diabli, Chicago Mike, Tyler Alexander. I said Tyler Alexander. Well, we have some breaking news from Tall Person. Let me pause here. I'm just going to go ahead and start with the pause, because Tall Person just dropped a deuce in the tip jar. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Tall Person, who says, first of all, Happy National Strawberry Sundae Day. Wow. I like strawberries. That's just, you come on. I don't know where you get these, but I think it's there's an association somewhere that has decided that it is National Strawberry Sundae Day, and a good strawberry sundae with some fresh strawberries, and I'm thinking strawberry shortcake. Well, even if it's strawberry shortcake or strawberry sundaes, I love me some fresh strawberries. And in fact, 2 years ago, Lady Boomer planted a strawberry plant in one of the pots in our garden, right? And it kind of grew. It's called a forever strawberry plant, and it grew, but it didn't. It kind of died, but part of it grew down like over the edge of the pot and implanted itself in the ground. And since then, it's grown in the ground, and so now we have this little strawberry plant in our garden that actually produces some really nice strawberries. So I am happy for National Strawberry Sundae Day. But I just realized I made a mistake. See, it's today's what I have for the music theme. It's hip hop day. I have hip hop themed music. So let's add a little hip hop, and we'll finish the rest of Tall Person's Streamlabs here. Second to play. There we go. Tall Person who dropped a deuce in the tip jar. I've already said Happy National Strawberry Sundae Day. But it's also, Tall Person also says, I saw on Twitter gas prices are going down. I don't understand why or how, though. What with the difficulty of getting oil? Thoughts? Well, look, there are some entities that have increased their production. Okay. They're both European and American governmental entities have been dumping petroleum from their reserves into the market. UK did that, and we did that, which, of course, we found out yesterday has been going to. It's been going, at least what we've dumped into the market, about 5 million barrels have gone into the European and Asian markets. In fact, some of it ended up in China. But that's whenever wherever that, it sounds kind of like, they're not helping Americans with that. But, wherever you dump that oil, it's gonna change the oil market. But that's a temporary fix. And it really, really could backfire badly, but we'll see what happens. The bigger thing that we need to do, at least as far as the United States is concerned, is to go back to unleashing our oil production, which Joe Biden seems to be intent on strangling oil production in the United States. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. So there you go. All right, let me turn that music off real quick. Oh, wait, how did I do that? There we go. I got to do it here, and we'll pause that. All right. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on that phenomenon. But hey, it helps in the short term, and that's the only kind of thinking that our administration seems to have. So there you go. All right, let me finish saying good morning, everybody, and then we'll go on. Thank you again, Tall Person, for sponsoring the show. Also in the chat this morning, Tyler F. is in the house, Chicago Mike Savage, Blarg, Jeffrey Russell Jr. Good morning to Rachel Meadows Dildo. Every day. Also, good morning to James Colley, Nomads in the house.
Stop. Hammer time.
Also, good morning to, I said Jeffrey Russell Jr., didn't I? Yes, I did. Also, good morning, Renee Mayette. What's up? Nice to see you, my friend. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite. Yeah. Whoops, that's the wrong guy. How about this?
That's right.
Okay, I'll get it eventually. Good morning, Aaron Meredith. Jethro Hetero, Tall Person, who is the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day at the moment. There, I fixed that. Also, good morning to Jim Beam, Rotten Core. Oh my gosh, sorry. I need to take a sip of my cup of reparations here. Today we have the Camellia Grill from New Orleans, a trip that my wife and I took a few years ago. And this grill that's really off the end of one of the trolley lines that a friend of mine recommended. And we had a lovely breakfast there. And then we went to a place, a kind of kitty corner across the street, kind of a brew pub, and had a few beers. But it was a great breakfast at this Camellia's Grill. So if you ever get a chance to do that in New Orleans, head there. Also, good morning to, I said Tall Person, Man Squatch is in the house. Good morning, Trippy Liberty, Zan Wild, Us, San, Keebler, Willett Forge, Jay Pylon, the gang is all here. Man, y'all are rolling in hard today. I got 27 people, 13 likes. Hit the like button sometime during the show. Share the stream before, during, after the stream. In fact, right now, if you click that little arrow down there somewhere, I think it's over here somewhere if you're on a computer screen, click the arrow, share the screen, put it out on your social media or somewhere, or just, email somebody or send it to somebody. Anybody. Just share the stream and we'll grow and grow and grow. And also, if you want to sponsor the show, like Tall Person and also Tyre Alexander, you can go to open a window at pdognight.live. That's where my Streamlabs link is for donations there, or you can do YouTube Super Chat if you don't mind. You send 30% to Susan. There's a couple of options, but if you want to send a message, this is better because you have more characters. I think you get 255 characters at pdognight.live, no matter how much you donate. It doesn't restrict you. If you put $2 in YouTube and you can only put like 50 characters, well, you might not get to say what you want to say. But if you do that at pdognight.live, you will get 255 characters no matter what. So, also, good morning to Maddie. I see you just dropped in. All right. Thank you, Tyler Alexander, for sponsoring the show. And Tyler Alexander, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Dropping a small bullet in the tip jar. And, let's see what we got here. Oh, this is a sponsor. Maybe we should have something a little more upbeat with a sponsor. Let's try, these are laid back. Oh, here, let's try this one. Let's go a little more upbeat. Well, that's not upbeat, but whatever. Today's sponsor is FTG Farms. Hello. We at FTG Farms would like to assure our local customers we will do our best to keep the store stocked with fresh homegrown fucks. We are partnering with BBC Rentals to launch... We are partnering with BBC Rentals to launch FTG Black, now with a bigger, dark flavor. Okay, Tyre. That was fantastic. Thank you for sponsoring the show. If you don't know what to do, you can just write an ad and we'll get a good we'll get a kick out of it here. All right, let's turn that off for a second and let's get into some news. So, a lot of things trending this morning. One of the things that trended quick was AR-15. Now, wait, where did he? Hang on, let me move LeBron James over here because LeBron James is trending too. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the AR-15, if only because of an ad that I saw yesterday, and maybe some of you've seen it. It is a political ad for a congressman. Now, AR-15 is trending because it is, because it's been trending for days because of events that have happened in certain places. And I don't even know if Ding Dong in Highland Park had an AR-15. You might have noticed in those reports of the Ding Dong in Highland Park, that piece of shit bag, whatever, murderous little squirt. You notice that they have never said AR-15 in relation to what he was shooting. They just said high-powered rifle. And I was curious about that because normally they would automatically say, they'd be talking about, oh, you need to ban AR-15s. Since the AR-15 is the most popular, gun for mass, shootings, which is not. Actually, handguns are by far the most used guns in mass shootings. But because that's the gun that people have been in many high-profile mass shootings, they seem to that's the one that's going to get all the attention, right? So it's trending on Twitter this morning, and I found it fascinating. Now, I think part of the reason it's trending is because of this ad by a congressional candidate in Arizona. And if you haven't seen this ad, well, gird your loins immediately, because I watched this ad and I was like, oh, damn. And as the title of this video, or the title of the stream says, oh, damn, he went there. If you haven't seen this, you just got to see it. By the way, good morning, Lord Stanhope. Here it goes. I'm just going to play it. And then I'm with my jaw on the floor. This is a congressional candidate from the state of Arizona.
Democrats like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense. That no one could possibly need all 30 rounds. But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods, you just might need that semi-automatic.
Oh.
And all 30 rounds.
my God. Oh my God. So this is a candidate. His name is Jerome Davison. He's a Republican in Arizona. You know what? I have to watch it again. Now, I know that look, we're going to
Democrats like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense.
Now, what's fascinating too, I noticed, I caught this quite early. In this picture, the gentleman carrying the who's the guy in the great not in the Walking Dead that carries the bat with the barbed wire around it. Anyway, I believe it's hard to
that
tell.
No one could possibly need.
But I'm looking
all
at this
30
guy. This actually looks like a brother under this hood, but you know, it could be. What's that dude in? Anyway, so anyway, he continues the ad.
rounds.
Oh, talk about how you don't need 30
But
rounds.
when this rifle is the only
we're-
thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods.
Dozen angry Democrats. Negan, yeah, and Negan from whatever that show's called, The Walking Dead. Good morning. Oh, here's a new name. Hi, Manline. What's up? Nice to see you. Welcome to the show. And Simon Wolfwood, I see you. Now, look.
You just might need that semi-automatic
This may
and all 30 rounds.
or may not be an appropriate ad, but I am here for it. It's just, okay, I can't play it
Democrats
again.
like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense.
Stop.
That no.
Now, there's been some commentary on this ad. Let's see. Someone named JP says a totally inappropriate campaign ad, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. Well, it brings up some little sore spots for some people because they don't like it when you mention that those people in the hoods were Democrats, even though they were. Now look, if they're whatever remnant is left of those jackholes who wear the hoods and shit, they probably don't like anybody in the government, but they were Democrats when they were prominent. In fact, they were proud Democrats, and just as is. Now it's funny though. Some of this one right here, some sort of flip reverse psychology long shot. I don't get the parallel made between the left and the KKK, but okay. Well, this is a person who's not too up on history. Okay. The other one says based. There's some probably. Let's see what else. This is from. By the way, this is from an account that was suspended recently, and they got reinstated. Or no, they weren't even suspended. Someone said they were suspended, they weren't. And so I happened to catch on to this breaking 911. They're not on, they were this is one of those Twitter handles that was accidentally suspended. They weren't suspended for any reason. They didn't do anything illegal basically, but they were accidentally suspended and then Twitter reinstated them. We're going to talk about Twitter reinstatements today too. Some people are not happy. Why am I never giving up my guns? Because Democrat politicians were not only okay with this, but raised money to bail out anyone that was arrested for it. This is a brother saying that too. Oh, Zach Osborne here, or any violent mob, really. I wish we could vote for this guy. There's people who like this guy. Zach Osborne, I see you there. Are you here today? Did I say good morning to Zach yet? Anyway, this guy's... Now, other reason. This is Congressman Jamal Bowman talking about AR-15, and this is another one of those stupid things that people say all the time. And I'll just read it here. He's one of the like squad adjacent Congress people. He's super out there, progressive. When I say out there, I mean way out there on the left end of the spectrum, progressive. The wound size from an AR-15 is larger than an orange and completely shatters your bones and organs. There's no tissue for a doctor to repair. Your hobby, shooting an AR-15, does not supersede our right to live. Now, Congressman Bowman, I don't know where you're getting this idea that the wound size from a bullet is not necessarily because it's not going to put a hole in you the size of an orange. You clearly don't have any idea what you're talking about. You've never shot a weapon. And one of the first comments here, it's easy to tell when someone's never shot a gun. Now, then this person do. If you want to propose a ban on semi-auto anything, rifle, pistol, shotgun, except for special license, there are places with dangerous wild animals where this is an actual need, then I am on board. But this obsession with so-called assault gets us nowhere. I've seen lots and lots of 5.56 wounds in combat. That's simply bullshit. There's nothing special about the AR platform other than it being the most common rifle platform in the Western world. Everywhere else, it would be the AK, which is a larger, more powerful round. Because, yeah, a lot of people want to talk about how scary, dangerous the AR is. And it's really, again, they want to call it an assault weapon. Again, it's a makeup. It's a platform. It's not special. And in fact, more people killed by knives, more people killed by hands than rifles in the United States. But because of it has been used in some high-profile mass shootings, they're really hyped on the AR-15. But it's not really about the AR-15. It's about them wanting to limit your ability to have a weapon, which, according to the Second Amendment, shall not be infringed. So anyway, other things, and then there's a whole bunch of people talking about AR-15s for many different reasons this morning, but that was the one that caught my eye. Yahoo is talking about a Republican, apparently one of the Republican nominee for governor of Illinois, Darren Bailey, once held a campaign fundraising event at which he raffled off a Smith & Wesson AR-15, a weapon nearly identical to the type used in the 4th of July parade massacre here this week. Okay, the point is, did he raffle it off and did that guy get it? I'm not sure what you meant, but they're trying to smear him because of that correlation. Is there even a correlation there? I don't know. Nobody should have an AR-15. Nobody. Really? Why? Nobody? Nobody on the entire planet should have one? I don't know. And then Vote Vets, which is a left-wing group, veterans group. This U.S. Army veteran, Rob Gerchev, this is U.S. Army veteran Rob Gerchev. He's also a dad who wants to make sure his family and all families are safe from gun violence. Well, then keep him out of the hood, because that's where most of the gun violence is. He has some very startling facts about the AR-15 and weapons like it. Most of all, he knows that weapons of war do not belong on our streets. Now, fascinating. I guess now you need to define what a weapon of war is. The AR-15 is certainly not used by any of the military because they're using M4s and they used to use M16s and blah, 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 which are adjustable to single fire and burst fire, right? But if we're going to talk about weapons of war, couldn't all firearms be considered a weapon of war? Because I'm pretty sure they have use of certain types of shotguns in the military. They have certain use of pistols in the military. So no weapons should be for domestic use. Anyway, but anyway, a lot of people are talking about the black Republican pastor running for Congress, who dropped an ad where he fights the KKK with an AR-15. Don Winslow. Now he's bitching at Adam Kinzinger. You voted for President Trump twice. You hadn't seen enough horror from 2016 to 2020. Fuck your rebranding. If you cared about democracy, you'd have voted the Voting Rights Act. If you cared about gun reform, you would have started by giving up your AR-15. Hey, Don Winslow. I got... Well, let me just... let's just go ahead and do one of these. FTG Don Winslow. I forgot to do the earlier FTG for Jamal Bowman, but that's okay. We're gonna move on. Real quick, let me do this. I want to see what. I'm gonna check my notifications here real quick because there's wrong. Don't do it there. Do it over here so you don't have to. This is the one you're gonna delete. Let's see. Thank you. Oh, bye. Quick thank yous. Thank you, Tall Person, and Maddie, and Simon Wolfwood, Rotten Corpse, Willett Forge, and Somnamble Nation for all tweeting or retweeting the notification for the show today. And what's this? I have no idea who this is. Who the hell is this? Oh, that's Renee. Renee, what's this Olga? What's the Olga of Kiev thing? I didn't even notice that. That's funny. So apparently this is the, thank you, Renee, for sending me this photo. This is a photo of the weapon that they recovered from this jackhole. Now that looks like a sniper rifle. Where the hell did this kid get this shit? And that's a hell of a setup. My God. Is that the weapon that they recovered? Anyway, he left it on the roof and then ran off like, and then he ran off. I was going to say he ran off like a little bitch. But, so anyway, let's move on. Other things trending this morning. Let's see. Let me skip here. LeBron James is trending this morning. And not necessarily because of anything LeBron James did. I mean, he tends to trend often. But he's trending more because of what Brittany Griner's coach has said. Let me make sure I get... Oh, shoot. I didn't even open... Well, it might help to open the article, Marty. Jeez. So, yesterday, or it was maybe the day before yesterday, Brittany Griner's coach made a statement. Because if you don't know who Brittany Griner is... Yeah, I don't know how he afforded that, but you know what? Who knows? He's a 21-year-old kid who's probably worked. How are there 19-year-old mass shooters affording $20,000 worth of gear? Yeah, that is a serious that's a serious setup. I don't know what it was, but I know that's you're looking at least $5 to $10 grand for that setup. But anyway, Brittany Griner's coach. Brittany Griner's the WNBA player who got caught in Russia with some kind of THC oil or hash oil or something that she puts, vape oil, hashish vape oil, right? And that would be contraband in Russia, and she got arrested and has been in jail for a while. And when like some of these players and different people during the Trump era, they would get in trouble in places like China or North Korea. Like the guy from North Korea came back in a body bag, or like ASCP Rocky, right? Donald Trump was pretty good at getting those people back. I don't know what he did. He did some horse dealing and got these people back. Well, Brittany Griner is still in jail in Russia, and so Brittany Griner's coach has spoken up about this. Brittany Griner's coach lashed out at the star player's ongoing incarceration in Russia. Speaking with reporters on Monday, Vanessa Nygaard, head coach of the WNBA's Phoenix Mercury, posited that Griner would be back in the U.S. by now if she were NBA superstar LeBron James. Now, I understand the point she's trying to make. However, one, Brittany Griner is not LeBron James, but it should be irrelevant. Let me read the rest of this because she says some other things here that I want to talk about. Quote, "If it were LeBron James, he'd be home, right?" Nygaard asked. It's a statement about the value of women. It's a statement about the value of a black person. I thought LeBron James was black. It's a statement about the value of a gay person. All of those things, we know it. And so that's what hurts a little more. Now, Griner has been jailed in Russia since she was arrested at the airport in mid-February and accused of possessing cannabis vape cartridges. In May, the U.S. government determined that she was being wrongly detained. Now, first of all, I'm kind of confused on how they determined she was wrongly detained. If she was carrying cannabis vape cartridges, which in Russia is considered an illegal drug, like they don't differentiate between illegal drugs. That's an illegal drug. But anyway, Monday, Griner wrote an open letter to President Joe Biden urging him to take action to secure the release of herself and other American prisoners from Russia. Now, here's the big problem. There's several big problems with this whole thing. First, when she says that it's about a statement about the value of women, nope. She got busted with some shit she ain't supposed to have in Russia. It don't matter if she's a woman or a man or what. But no, you want to make it about that, but that ain't it. Statement about the value of being a black person. Nope. Donald Trump successfully got 3 UCLA basketball players who got caught shoplifting in China, of all places. Got them back. They were black. All 3 of them were black. And so was ASP Rocky. ASP Rocky, is that what that dude's name is? How do you, ASAP Rocky? Whatever, that dude, the rapper dude who got busted for some shit. But although his shit was for getting in a fight, and that was a whole nother thing. About the value of being a gay person? Nah, I don't think so. It's about none of those things, okay? Here's what it's really about. One, you have a different president who doesn't make it a priority to get Brittany Griner back. Has there been huge diplomatic efforts? I don't know. There may have been behind the scenes, but we have a major problem in this case. What might that be, P-Dog or Marty or whatever you're calling me these days? What might that be? Well, right now the Russians are in a little conflict with another country that's kind of right next to them called Ukraine. And the United States is supplying Ukraine with lots of weapons. Lots of weapons and lots of money and lots of all kinds of stuff. So I just have this I have this feeling. I've got a feeling that the Russians probably don't give a shit about negotiating with Joe Biden, who is providing his money laundering pal next door to Russia, who happens to be in a little, tit for tat, missile for missile shit going on over there. I don't think that Putin has any interest in, doesn't give a shit about Brittany Griner right now. Because the only leverage maybe that the United States might have is they stop supplying weapons to Ukraine. And I don't think that's going to happen because, there's some, Lockheed and BlackRock and all these other places they got to make their, they need their bag. So I'm not convinced that Brittany Griner is going to be coming home anytime soon via any kind of negotiations. I don't know that we have anyone to trade. The other people that are being held in Russia probably aren't coming home anytime soon because we're basically supplying the people that are in direct conflict with Russia with weapons. So, that's a whole different story. Plus, you don't have Donald Trump in office, who probably, had Donald Trump won the presidency, which he did not, we might not have had a war in Ukraine at all. But we do, and it's with the country in which Brittany Griner is sitting in a jail cell. So, it probably ain't happening. But Griner wrote to the president, please do all you can to bring us home. Griner wrote, I voted for the first time in 2020, and I voted for you. I believe in you. Hey, there's your first mistake. Anyway, let's see. Oh, she wrote more. As I sit here in a Russian prison, alone with my thoughts and without the protection of my wife, my family, and friends, Olympic jersey, or any accomplishments, I'm terrified I might be here forever. Well, let's see. She continued with a reflection about Independence Day. On the 4th of July, our family normally honors the service of those who fought for our freedom, including my father, who is a Vietnam War veteran. She wrote, it hurts thinking about how I usually celebrate this day because freedom means something completely different to me this year. You know, I'm just be glad that that didn't happen in, say, Turkey or Singapore or some places that are really serious about you bringing shit you ain't supposed to have that in their drug-related industries. At least Russia just put her in jail. Press secretary what's her face? What's her name? Anyway, Karina Jean-Pierre or whatever. On the letter from Brittany Griner to President Biden, said the president did read the letter. This is an issue that is a priority for this president. We believe she is wrongfully detained. We believe she needs to come home. Okay. Asked about the letter on Tuesday, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre affirmed that Biden had read it and so on and so forth. So anyway, that's what I just read. So anyway, so that's why LeBron James is trending, because this coach seems to think that if it were LeBron James, well, look, I bet okay, let me put it this way. If it were LeBron James, pretty much everyone in America knows who LeBron James is. Brittany Griner, I bet you ask half the population, or more than half, maybe, I would say maybe 30% of the population would even know the name Brittany Griner. That shouldn't be a factor on whether or not they should be trying to get her back. They should be doing what they can to get her back. But Coach Nygaard, or whatever her name is, Vanessa Nygaard, the idea that if it were LeBron James, he'd be home. Not right now. I just don't think so. And LeBron James is worth a lot more. If it was LeBron James, he might have been able to buy his way out of it. Brittany Griner, not so much. But I do wish the best. I hope that she... Now, speaking of which, the other comparison here that maybe some people don't want to make and that someone pointed out, had LeBron James pleaded guilty for domestic violence, the narrative would be different too, but they slept on that one. Oh, damn. Where's my Price is Right? Brittany Griner, this is from 2015. Brittany Griner pleads guilty, seeks counseling after a domestic violence arrest. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, you think LeBron James would have got out of that? Maybe his lawyers would be better. All right, let's move on. I mentioned before, I was going to talk about people who were suspended from Twitter, because that seems to happen to, even if it's accidentally, it seems to certainly happen to people, right? Well, this is an interesting story. Alex Berenson, who is, what is Alex Berenson? He's author of Tell Your Children and Pandemia, and he has a Substack. He's a kind of a journalist type. Well, apparently he has been reinstated on Twitter. Now, originally his account was permanently suspended here from Twitter, and somehow they got it to come back. He got himself back, and he fought Twitter, and he's telling a story on his Substack. So here's the story. Well, here's the official statement, the reinstatement statement out of my way first. Quote, the parties have come to a mutually acceptable resolution. I have been reinstated. Twitter has acknowledged that my tweets should not have led to my suspension at that time. So take a look at the third sentence. Twitter has acknowledged that my tweets should not have led to my suspension at that time. Oh, yeah, I think you got this wrong. But anyway, to recap, this is his story in Substack. Last August, Twitter banned me after I got 5 strikes under its stupid 19 This deserves a echo. Misinformation policy, which meant I'd supposedly made claims of fact that were demonstrably false or misleading and likely to impact public safety or cause serious harm. That's the policy. That's what it takes to get a strike. Look it up. Now we come to find those tweets, quote, should not have led to my suspension. Now, this was a long time. This is in August of last year and just getting reinstated in July of this year. Now we come to find those tweets should not have led to my suspension. Oops. Hey, everyone makes mistakes. Not everybody's mistakes lead to a worldwide series of defamatory articles like this one in Business Insider. They said COVID conspiracy theorist Alex Berenson banned from Twitter after posting an anti-vaccine rant. Oh, what did I do there? This definitely deserves a. So here's what they wrote in Business Insider. All in the past, though, little bird. Oh, he continues. I'm sorry. That's all in the past, though. The little bird and I are now the best of friends. And I can't wait for Insider and NBC News and everyone who drooled over my suspension in August 2021 and later to devote equal space to the fact that I'm back and Twitter's admission it should not have banned me. Much more, actually, because this has never happened before. You know what it took Twitter to admit it shouldn't have done what it did? You do not, and I can't tell you because the statement is all I can say about the settlement. Except I need to add one thing. The settlement does not end my investigation into the pressures that the government may have placed on Twitter to suspend my account. I will have more to say on that issue in the near future. I've made a promise to readers last month, and I take my promises seriously. So apparently he's got more to say. They suspended him supposedly for disinformation. But I think one of the tweets that got him suspended. Here, let's see if it's in the picture here. Oh no, that's the same article. There was actually a picture of the suspension. Something about how the vaccines didn't prevent transmission or some shit like that, and he got suspended for it, and so that's not good. All right, let me move on. Interesting thread here from someone named Amy Curtis. Ron DeSantis is trending again because you pretty much can't have a day go by without Ron DeSantis trending. Well, and also Joe Walsh. I don't know if you know Joe Walsh. He used to be a radio host. He used to be a congressman from Illinois on the Republican side, but now he's one of those never Trump, not necessarily Lincoln Project, but he's certain Lincoln Project-esque. And so this woman has now Jonathan Chait's a complete left-wing shitbag who says the Trump skeptical conservatives who love DeSantis are distrustful of Trump's incompetence, not his authoritarianism, which I'm still trying to figure out the Trump authoritarianism angle. They like to say that, but Trump tended to, if Trump was an authoritarian, he'd probably be president right now. But anyway, they prefer a much more competent authoritarian, which DeSantis is, which is kind of indistinguishable from this supposed conservative named Joe Walsh, who said, bullshit. I'm never Trump, but I come from the populist base. I oppose DeSantis because he's not conservative. He's authoritarian. He uses government to punish individuals and private companies. I oppose him because he doesn't believe in freedom, free speech, or the Constitution. I do. Oh, by the way, this is the Joe Walsh. No, not Joe. Not life has been good to me so far, Joe Walsh. This is Joe Walsh, the former congressman from Illinois, Republican. Well, he's pseudo-Republican, but he seems all his views right now seem to be like. Let's put it this way: he's also someone who apparently believes we should get rid of the Electoral College, and why I don't know. He's and in fact, in 2016 he was complaining because Hillary Clinton was bitching about the Electoral College, but now he's bitching about the Electoral College because, well, he's he's getting those pats on the back by those leftists who say, "Oh, this is a good Republican. This is a good Republican." You know, he's kind of the Anna Navarro, Bill Kristol, you know, the people they like, Liz Cheney. He's in that wing of the Republican Party right now. Anyway, so this woman, now the people calling DeSantis authoritarian got under this Amy Curtis's skin. So I'm going to talk about this thread because this one made a lot of sense. Amy Curtis says, I mean, people are leaving New York City and California for Florida because they must love authoritarians or something. They're on year 3 of COVID authoritarianism right now. See, the so-called principled conservative crowd is so used to losing, they prefer guys like Romney, who Biden said would put blacks back in chains, yet still calls Biden decent. Guys who roll over and give the actual authoritarian left exactly what they want. It's this love of weak milquetoast candidates that got them Trump in the first place. People who aren't diehard leftists got sick of the abuses of the left and the media. Trump didn't take it, and that's what made him attractive to voters. But they will never spend a minute on introspection to understand that. Their, quote, DeSantis is worse than Trump, end quote, rhetoric is proof of this. DeSantis is not authoritarian. He's far more competent than Trump, but he doesn't take shit from the left. And the so-called principled conservative crowd, used to compromising their principles to play nice with the left, hates that. They're so used to betraying their principles to play nice or get a paycheck that actually defending them is unfathomable. The reality is they are not principled, nor are they conservative. Every principle they claim to have goes out the window for clout or for a paycheck or a cushy gift or job at CNN. And now, after 6+ years of screaming how uniquely dangerous Trump is, every Republican nominee is infinitely worse. And please forget what we said about Trump, which belies their true intentions. To go back to the days when the left ran roughshod and the principled candidates just shrugged and groveled to be liked by the media, who tried to convince the public they were a reincarnation of Hitler. They are part of why the left has a stranglehold on so many institutions. They never push back. And now anyone who does is an authoritarian. Except that won't play well when people are struggling to pay for gas or food, and the Democrat in power has an approval rating below 40% and dropping. He's a sinking ship, and every prominent Democrat is going down with him. Have fun in November, guys, and have fun in 2024. So she puts Joe Walsh in his place, and good for her. And I just thought that was a good thread. All right, moving on. Are y'all familiar with the Sun Valley Conference? Have you ever heard of this? So every year, let me do this. So every year, in I think is it Sun Valley, Idaho, just a plethora of private jets fly in for this conference in Sun Valley, Idaho, where all the billionaires and movers and shakers around the world, and a lot of media people, especially. It's a big media hype fest. But a lot of billionaires join in. And they have this little conference of how they're going to rule the world and tell everybody that they're not really trying to rule the world. That's a weird way to describe it, but it kind of is. It's where a lot of these like these big media deals happen, like when Time Warner took over Turner. That's where that deal happened. Anyway, they call it. It has a nickname, Billionaire Summer Camp. Okay, so it's happening apparently right now, and so there's a kind of an article about who's showing up at the Billionaire Summer Camp. Robert Kraft, Sheryl Sandberg's, which is isn't Sheryl Sandberg? Is that Bill Gates' ex-wife? Who is Sheryl Sandberg? I guess we'll find out. Spotted at Sun Valley's Billionaire Summer Camp. Sun Valley is once again a dating destination of choice for business, tech, and media moguls. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft enjoyed a game of tennis with his younger, more glamorous fiance, while Meta's is she? She's related to Meta. Hello. Oh, good morning, legit low knocker. Okay. While Meta, that's Facebook, outgoing operating chief Sheryl Sandberg arrived arm in arm with her own fiance at the annual summer camp for billionaires at the posh Idaho resort. The 80-year-old Kraft was photographed alongside his fiancee Dana Blumberg, the 47-year-old New York-based ophthalmologist, on Wednesday. The couple has been engaged since March. Kraft, the billionaire who built a paper and packaging empire which enabled him to buy the New England Patriots, lost his wife Myra Hyatt Kraft to cancer in 2011. Kraft, whose team has won 6 Super Bowl titles and 3. Okay, why are they? This is like, I just want them to talk more about the actual event. Like there's okay. Well, this gives you an idea who shows up at this thing. So let's go ahead and stay with it. Kraft, let's see, Sandberg, who's the embattled number 2 at Meta boss. Oh, the embattled number 2 to Meta boss Mark Zuckerberg was pictured strolling alongside marketing executive Tim Bernthal. The couple got engaged 2 years ago, and a wedding is slated for this summer. Oh, joy. The Lean In author announced last month that she was stepping down as chief operating officer of Facebook's parent company. The resignation will take effect in the fall. Sandberg's exit comes amid ongoing internal investigation by the company into her alleged use of Meta resources for her personal pet projects. Well, fantastic. Zuckerberg, who is steering his company through severe headwinds as he shifts its focus from traditional ad-supported social media to the metaverse, is also expected to attend the festivities. Oh, joy! Also, Warren Buffett, the billionaire investor and founder of holdings giant Berkshire Hathaway, was in attendance. The Oracle of Omaha was seen arm in arm with his second wife, Astrid Manx. Corporate heavyweights such as Joy Levin, the CEO of Barry Diller's media conglomerate IAC, and former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg were seen arriving at the event. Stacey Bennett, co-founder and CEO of fashion company Alice and Olivia, made a fashionable entry. Other captains of industry, including Tesla CEO Elon Musk, Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal, are also due to arrive. Musk earlier this year committed to buying Twitter for $44 billion and taking it private, all in part of a plan to alter its content moderation policy and allow for greater freedom of expression. David Zaslav, CEO of newly merged entity Warner Brothers Discovery, was also spotted arriving Tuesday. Zaslav has made waves in his first few months as chief executive, which including axing the failed streaming service CNN Plus. Does anyone miss CNN Plus? Anybody miss it? Did anyone subscribe here? If you subscribed to CNN Plus, raise your hand, and we're gonna chuckle. So anyway, the new corporate leadership is trying to resuscitate the cable news giant, which has been struggling in the ratings. Oh, has it now? By de-emphasizing partisan commentary and opinionated analysis. Goodbye, Brian Stelter. The annual shindig, hosted by Allen and Company, brings together corporate leaders in media, tech, and finance. This year's gathering takes place amid economic. So basically, this is one of those New World Order events, apparently. Just, I got to, what the hell is that? Okay, they made some fashionable entrances. This is one of those New World Order meetings where the billionaires all talk about how they're gonna control the world, and it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I got to tell you. The only person who's missing that I can think of right now is Klaus Schwab, and I don't need him anywhere near anything in the United States. Just keep that guy away, please. All right, let's see. Let's get into the main. Oh, I have one more before I get to the. Well, I gave you the reason why of the show, but Jon Stewart's in the news, and apparently Jon Stewart said something to the effect that your organs now can forcibly be harvested because of the Dobbs ruling. the Roe versus Wade ruling. The hysteria that has been boiling over since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade was joined by comedian Jon Stewart last Thursday on his The Problem podcast. And as you can see from the headline, things reached a fever pitch. According to this amateur legal scholar and bioethicist, the ruling meant that the government would be allowed to forcefully have your organs harvested if it meant it could save a life. He also repeatedly suggested the court was corrupt and the Fox News of justice. Speaking to the liberal cast of Strict Scrutiny podcasts, Stewart made his morbid prediction while admitting, quote, "You may say I'm crazy," end quote, that he suggested certain states would find the woman who's having a baby is not as important as the potential of that life. And going down his warped line of reasoning, he argued the pro-life position was, quote, "To save a life, autonomy means nothing. Thus, since we have an organ shortage in this country and organ donations save lives, they would be able to go to a person and say, 'Give me one of your kidneys because it's going to save this person's life.'" University of Michigan Law School Assistant Professor Leah Littman, a co-host for the Strict Scrutiny podcast, built off of Stewart by claiming it would be the only way that, it would only be that way for women. Is that person a woman or a man? Like, women don't have bodily autonomy. Not sure about the men, though, she said. Right, the men still do, Stewart agreed. Now, this is, wow. Earlier in the discussion, Stewart flaunted a selective use of history as he overlooked what the Democratic Party started with the Supreme Court nomination of Robert Bork and suggested the conservative justices committed perjury in their hearings. He went on to assert that if they were more forthright with their ideological bearing, you would respect their honesty and integrity. Of course, this claim of lying under oath to Congress has been roundly debunked, and even liberal justices were dodgy with their answers. Quote, "But this makes the court a cynical pursuit. It feels like the Fox News of justice," he whined, "that this is a political, having nothing to do with scholarship or anything else. This was a desire in search of a rationale." Well, I hate to tell you, John, but probably one of your heroes, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, agreed that the ruling was probably going to go down at some point. All right. Anyway, if you want to read more on that, you can. Let's get into some news. Apparently, the Highland Park shooter shitbag butt face is being held without bail and supposedly confessed to the crime. Highland Park shooting suspect Robert Cremo III appeared in court where a judge said he would be held without bail. Good. Judge Theodore Patanjak, something like that, described Cremo as a threat to the community. Cremo is charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. Cremo, 21, allegedly fired more than 80 rounds at a crowd of spectators Monday morning in a suburb of Chicago, killing 7 people and injuring dozens before fleeing the scene dressed as a woman, authorities said. What is a woman? I don't even know. Hello, Ebony. According to prosecutors, Cremo confessed to shooting at innocent parade goers from a rooftop perch. Interesting. So he confessed? Did he confess after his Miranda rights? Interesting. He allegedly admitted to dressing up in women's clothing and covering his tattoos and makeup to try to conceal his identity after he fled the rooftop. According to prosecutors, his Smith & Wesson M&P 15 rifle fell out of his bag in a back alley. The Lake County Deputy Sheriff Chris Covelli said that Cremo told the police he happened upon a gathering in or near Madison, Wisconsin, and considered attacking people there with a rifle he had in his car after he left the scene in Highland Park. Wait a minute. It said he dropped the weapon. Oh, the weapon fell out of his bag in a back alley. Anyway, Cremo did not attack the group because he had not conducted enough advanced planning. So apparently this event had been planned out for weeks in advance. Cremo watched the hearing via video link from a Lake County jail. He told the judge he did not have a lawyer. His lawyer, Tom Durkin, had to step aside because of an unspecified conflict of interest in the case. He will have a public defender now. Oh, and then police also revealed how Cremo's father helped him obtain his guns despite having a violent past. Now, this is the part that is getting weird, and we'll get to. We have another article about his parents. So, his father helped him to gun. Robert Cremo II sponsored his son FOID application in December 2019, since Cremo was only 19 years old. That's at Juan, Illinois. Cremo did this despite calling the police twice in that year because his son had threatened to kill himself and his family. What? In April 2019, an individual contacted the Highland Park Police Department a week after learning of Cremo's attempted suicide. Lake County Major Crime Task Force spokesman Christopher Gavelli said Tuesday it was a delayed report, so police responded to the residence a week later and spoke with Cremo and his parents. Mental health professionals handled the matter with no further law enforcement action. Months later, in September 2019, a family member reported that Cremo had a collection of knives and said he was going to kill everyone. Cavelli told reporters police responded to the residence and removed 16 knives, a dagger, and a sword from his home. At that time, there was no probable cause to arrest, and no complaints were signed by any of the victims. Now, so this is the confusing part. Why is his father helping him get guns after those two incidents? Also, Highland Park Police notified Illinois State Police, but they did not have information he had any firearms. Illinois State Police received a clear and present danger report on the subject from the Highland Park Police Department. The agency said in a press release the report was related to threats the subject made against his family. There were no arrests made in the September 2019 incident, so that's probably why that he might have been able to pass a background check. And no one, including family, was willing to move forward on a complaint, nor did they subsequently provide information on threats or mental health that would have allowed law enforcement to take additional action. Additionally, no firearms restraining order was filed, nor any order of protection. So basically, he was able to pass a background check because no one filed complaints against him. So then we move on here. What about his parents? So there's something going on with his parents here. But the authorities are not really willing to say exactly what. The story involves guns, police visits, mysterious UPS store mailbox, and a legal system with a catch-and-release policy regarding the dangerously mentally ill. We've learned the last couple of days that the alleged killer was yet another one of those known wolves that police were powerless to do anything about. What stands out in this case is what the parents may have done to enable their son. Now, before we continue, please understand, we're not trying to say the parents did anything in particular to make this young man into a murderer or that they knew he would kill. Parents all have their own blind spots when it comes to their kids. That's what makes this a tough column to write. This is the writer. It's every parent's darkest fear, that the one we try not to talk about. What if it were our kids suspected of mass murder? CBS Chicago reported Tuesday on two strange incidents, but the station hasn't yet been able to explain either of them. Police, including SWAT team members, paid a visit to the killer's parents on Tuesday, where they were confronted outside by a shouting and visibly angry mother. It's impossible to tell from the WBBM TV video what she's saying, but the anger is clear, though. The report does detail that the mother has a mailbox and a business listing at a local UPS store close to the scene of the shootings. Police closed the store until further notice, but have not explained why. If you want to watch the full report, it's linked here. But even more troubling is the killer's history with police and likely mental illness, and the lengths the father apparently went to both protect and arm his son. Ari Hoffman reported for the Post-Millennial that the killer was able to purchase firearms despite having been flagged as a clear and present danger. So we already know that. But I don't know what's going on. Why they're so apparently they're closing a business or closing a UPS store where his mom had a mailbox and some business there. I don't know. They still haven't figured that out. Now, another interesting part of this too. So all of the laws that the senators recently in the United States Senate have kind of acquiesced to regarding, gun purchases that they're trying to send to the president. Apparently, the city of Highland Park, Illinois, and the state of Illinois has every one of those laws in place already, and it did not stop this tragedy. So there's nothing praiseworthy about red flag gun laws or gun control when they fail to stop bad guys wherever they're implemented. In a bizarre move, the Lake County State's Attorney Eric Reinhold told the public and the press on Wednesday that he believes red flag laws in Illinois are strong, even though the state with some of the strictest gun laws in the country failed to stop a 21-year-old shooter from murdering 7 people at a July 4th parade and injuring 30 more. While announcing 7 counts of first-degree murder charges for Robert Crimo for the attacking parade goers, Reinhart praised his state's gun laws and called for a national ban on certain types of firearms. Okay. And here's his announcement. Here it is.
Celebration of freedom has ended in despair for our community. All of the people who died steps from here lost their freedom. All of it. Every ounce of freedom that they had. The freedom to love, the freedom to learn, and the freedom to live a full life. Their freedom matters too. We must do more as we think and reflect upon their freedom on this July 5th. Illinois has a strong red flag law that keeps communities safe and respects everyone's rights.
Does it?
We must vastly increase awareness and education about this red flag law called the Illinois Firearm Restraining Order. The goal of this tool is to ensure the safety of the individual and those around them.
Look, they had the tool. They've been. If this is supposed to help you, this guy's known to police. Part of it, I can understand his parents maybe not filing charges because they don't want the kid to go to jail for the threats with the knives and shit like that. But the idea that the dad helped him purchase weapons after that, I don't know. I'm not a fan of red flag laws, but I don't understand the idea that this kid threatened to kill himself and his entire family, and somehow his family's helping him buy guns. That's what I don't get.
Allows courts to temporarily remove guns and prevent the purchase of new guns by individuals who pose a significant risk. As I said, this tool allows temporary removal from the subject and prohibits the new purchase during the duration of the order. It allows individuals to stabilize their behavior, seek treatment, and access other resources
So you have this in place. This is already in place. And so what did it do in this case? It did nothing. I don't get it. Let me move forward in this article, though. So all the stereotypical warning signs designed to trigger some sort of intervention were there. Crimo had a troubled history of posting violent content online that reflected a plan and a desire to commit carnage for a long time in advance. He had mental health issues that culminated in an attempted suicide in April 2019. He had multiple run-ins with local law enforcement who, at one point, communicated their concerns about him to state police, yet he still freely carried out a horrific act. Reinhardt's anti-gun tirade doesn't make sense unless you come to terms with the fact that his plea for a national gun grabbing is solely a political talking point, not one that is designed to affect change that would have actually stopped a bloodthirsty villain or wannabes in their track. Even if assault weapons were magically wiped off the face of the earth, as Reinhardt seems to suggest, who is to say that a clearly disturbed individual such as Crimo wouldn't have come at the July 4th with a knife, dagger, sword, or even a vehicle, or even handguns, or a vehicle like at the Christmas massacre in Waukesha. After all, Crimo was in possession of 16 knives, a dagger, a sword in September 2019 when he threatened to kill everyone in his home. Law enforcement confiscated those weapons before returning the knives to the then teenager's father, who claimed the knives were his and they were being stored in the individual's closet for safekeeping. Crimo's father went on to sponsor his son's December 2019 application for a firearm owner identification card, which is required for gun possession by the state of Illinois, and the state police, yes, the same department that knew Crimo was deemed a clear and present danger, approved it. So they have the laws in place. They failed. Anyway, if you want to talk, it goes on about how the 14 Republicans who voted for some of this same nonsense that is already in place in Highland Park, Illinois, how they rolled over on this. It's in the article. Now, another thing about this, just because we have the most competent and highly qualified vice president in the history of the United States, former prosecutor and highly successful in California, and of just a complete and utter wordsmith. Let me see. Let's hear her. Let's see if you notice anything about what she says here.
We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously. The whole nation should understand and have a level of empathy to understand that this can happen anywhere, in any peace-loving community, and we should stand together.
Seriously?
And speak out about why it's got to stop.
Madam Vice President?
I don't know if you heard that, but just the beginning of her sentence when she said, and I quote, this is very important. This is so profound. She said, "We have to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to take this seriously." Wow, that's deep. That's deep. All right. Speaking of shootings, apparently, some leftists are threatening the congressional baseball game, and I just found this one fascinating. On the 5-year anniversary of the shooting at the congressional baseball field, leftists are threatening the congressional baseball game. Quote, "Failures will have serious consequences," end quote. Left-wing activists are threatening to shut down the congressional baseball game 5 years after a far-left gunman shot up the bipartisan event, almost killing House Republican Whip Steve Scalise. The climate activist group called Now or Never on Wednesday unveiled a 3-part plan that starts with shutting down the annual game to force action from Democratic leaders who the group says are guilty of refusing to act boldly on issues like climate change, abortion, and voting rights, for fear it will be too polarizing. Now or Never's parent organization, the Action Network, is located at the same address as a group funded by he who shall not be named. Chat, who is that? Who is he who shall not be named? Or you'll be considered anti-Semitic. Quote, "On July 28th, we will converge en masse to the congressional baseball game. If our politicians have failed to deliver, we will shut it down." Now or Never website says, "We will not stand by watching them play games while the world burns. Everything we love is at stake. Our safety, our future, our one and only home, and live babies." It's time to leave everything on the field. I shouldn't have said that. I'm not against abortion. I'm just thinking there should be some restrictions at a point where it becomes a barbaric practice. But that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, those threats come 5 years after James Hodgkinson, a former campaign volunteer for Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders, showed up at Republicans' practice for the game and shot Scalise, a congressional staffer, a lobbyist, and 2 Capitol Police officers. All the victims survived, though Scalise was seriously injured. Police officers shot and killed Hodgkinson in a gunfight. Now or Never's threats do not stop with the baseball game. If Congress does not enact, quote, stronger climate legislation by August 5th, Now or Never will, quote, see to it that Democratic senators hear from us when they fly home empty-handed, the website says. If the group does not get what it wants by September 30th, it will take highly disruptive mass direct action that fundamentally disrupts business as usual in D.C. So who knows if they're just making some threats in a place where somebody was shot in the past. No big deal. Good morning, Damian Gershwin. Good morning, Natasha Kayleen. Nice to see y'all here. All right, let's see. I got a few more, and I got time to do them, so let's go. What's this one? Oh, now this is something I really don't know much about. If any of you familiar with the Georgia Guidestones? Apparently these are kind of a monument that has weird messaging about, well, it's some millionaire had these things made, and it's just strange. The controversial Georgia Guidestones, a monument located in Georgia, has been partially destroyed after reports of an explosion. Investigators said unknown people detonated an explosive device around 4 a.m., reports Fox 5 Atlanta. No one was injured as a result of the incident. One of the wings of the monument was completely destroyed by the blast, which occurred despite constant monitoring of the site with cameras that feed back to a 911 call center. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation responded to the explosions by sending a bomb squad. Drone footage shows that the tourist attraction has suffered extensive damage. Now, the monument itself has attracted opposition amongst some due to its creepy inscriptions, which call for, quote, maintaining humanity under 500 million, a figure which the world hasn't seen since the 1500s and would require outright mass genocide to achieve. The stones also call for the imposition of a world court, demands humans be not a cancer on the earth. The Georgia Guidestones were built in 1980 at a cost of $500,000 on behalf of a small group of loyal Americans, quote unquote, who remain anonymous to this day, but it's believed to include philanthropist and population control enthusiast Ted Turner. Turner's repeatedly advocated for a 95% population reduction and attends weird confabs such as the likes of Bill Gates and George Soros to discuss how globalists could use their wealth to slow the growth of the world's population. As the History Channel explains, the stones are aligned to precisely track astrological and solar cycles. The east and west corners of the monument used to, because it's blown up, track sunrise and sunset. A slot that's cut into one of the slabs marks the winter and summer solstices. A shaft that's drilled through the center of the stone marks Polaris, the North Star, and a slit that's cut through the capstone marks perfect noon time. So that means this sort of granite Swiss Army knife, the Guidestones have a calendar, a compass, a translator, a guide, and a guide, which is bananas. Anyway, but they don't play a significant part in American history. No, they're not. So the Georgia Stones were commie propaganda. Yes, never heard of those. I'd never heard of them either. But if you read what was on them, the only real problem was the call to keep the population to a minimum. Okay, I haven't read what's on them, but it's funny because I keep hearing about them. I've been like over the last 24 hours, I keep hearing Georgia Guidestones. I had never heard of them. All right, let's see. Do I have time? Well, here we go. Oh, I'm gonna finish with this one. There's a couple of Breitbart articles I had open too, but I'm gonna finish with this one because this is unusual too. Apparently now, the European Union has decided to classify gas and nuclear as green amid energy price surges. Now, I've always thought of nuclear, at least renewable. I don't know if it's green, but I consider nuclear renewable, and I'm surprised that we haven't tried to take advantage of new nuclear technologies that are working in some other countries. But this is fascinating. Let me put this back to the middle. There we go. Excuse me. There we go. The European Parliament voted on Wednesday to categorize nuclear power and gas as environmentally sustainable amid a record energy price surge. In a 328 to 278 vote, the European Commission, oh, by the way, Greta Thunberg is pissed. In a 328 to 278 vote, the European Commission survived an attempt by the EU Parliament to block its designation of nuclear energy and gas production as transitional activities contributing to climate change mitigation. The move will likely increase investment, but gas producers must follow emission guidelines to be eligible. Many points to disruptions, and this is they're talking about it's a green as far as transitional or transition to 100% renewable, right? Many point to disruptions in the energy market brought by the war in Ukraine as a factor behind climbing fuel costs. While the European Union has opted to expand development of alternative forms of energy, President Joe Biden has asked Americans to endure high gas prices for as long as it takes to defend against Russia's invasion. Biden has released some oil from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve and sent it to Europe and China, and canceled other large domestic gas opportunities. Much of the strategic oil reserve has gone to other nations in an effort to wean them off Russian gas. U.S. gas prices peaked in June at more than $5 a gallon, the highest recorded national average, according to AAA. The change in policy was opposed primarily by center-left and left-wing members of the EU Parliament. Many argued the shift would make the European Union more dependent on Russia, but embracing nuclear power may help decouple European nations from the Russian energy market. Many German officials have expressed regret over the country's pivot away from nuclear, lamenting that they have become more dependent on Putin as a result. Experts have long held nuclear power and natural gas as environmentally friendly and economically feasible ways to provide power, as carbon emissions from nuclear power are particularly negligible. Greenpeace, a liberal nonprofit which has historically fought nuclear or gas power, promised to pursue litigations over the policy chain. Why? What does Greenpeace have to do with this? And look, when they say gas, they're talking about like natural gas, right? Which, if that's the case, the United States is like the Saudi Arabia of natural gas and coal too. But anyway, Greenpeace, a liberal nonprofit which has historically bought nuclear and gas power, promised to pursue litigation over the policy change. Celebrity climate activist, they describe her as celebrity climate activist and former truant Greta Thunberg opposed the European decision. Let's see what now old enough to criticize in public Greta Thunberg had to say. By the way, good morning, lunatic. And my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony is in the house. Also, Anna Lynn. How you doing? Here it is. Greta Thunberg is pissed. The European Parliament just voted to label fossil fuels or fossil gas as green energy. This will delay a desperately needed real sustainable transition and deepen our dependency on Russian fuels. The hypocrisy is striking, but unfortunately not surprising. This is still not my taxonomy.
How dare you?
Well, Greta, you can't just turn a switch and make everyone drive electric cars, you dummy. And as far as you still have to have electricity to run your electric cars, dummy. So shut the fuck up. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do today, guys. Let's see. What's going on in the chat here? Celebrity climate activist with a mug only a mother could love. Yes, Natasha, you are correct. Oh, Anna Lynn, that's a little harsh, though. Fuck her. Hell no. Wait. Is she off she yet? If not, I take that back. I don't know what that means. Is she off she? I'm not sure. But she's no longer a teenager. She's old enough to criticize. And so I have no problem taking swipes at that stupid little bitch. Ryan R., what's up? Greta Thunberg wants to be relevant again. Thus, they will say anything. Well, no, she didn't understand that even if you want, yes. Oh, hell yes. I forgot. That's very important. Is it THUNBERG? Yes, FTG Greta Thunberg for sure. Oh yes, did you? Yeah, I saw. I was on my break at work when Boris made a speech. Boris Johnson, well, he officially is resigning. Apparently there's going to be a transition, but Boris Johnson resigned as the Prime Minister of Great Britain today, and when he was saying that there's some people who are going to be upset that he's leaving, and then there's some people who are going to be glad, and he said something, and then he said, but them's the breaks. And I just like, oh my gosh, I was going to go back to like who is it and the Furious Five? It's not Grandmaster Flash, but Curtis Blow. Isn't Curtis Blow the one who did the breaks back in the early rap days? Anyway, I was just, these are the breaks. Anyway, yeah, Boris Johnson's speech. Let me see if we can find that. What the hell's going on here? Let's see if we can find Boris Johnson. Oh, there it is, right there. If you're going to lead a major world power, July 2019 was a hellacious time to take the helm, the calm right before the storm. Okay, that was Boris Johnson. Let's see. Let me see if we can find Boris Johnson. Let's see if these are the breaks. But them's the breaks. Yeah, here's the line.
Often when the herd moves, it moves. And my friends, in politics, no one is remotely indispensable. And our brilliant and Darwinian system will produce another leader equally committed to taking this country forward through tough times, not just helping families to get through it, but changing and improving the way we do things, cutting burdens on businesses and families, and yes, cutting taxes, because that is the way to generate the growth and the income we need to pay for great public services. And to that new leader, I say, whoever he or she may be, I say I will give you as much support as I can. And to you, the British public, I know that there will be many people who are relieved, and perhaps quite a few who will also be disappointed. And I want you to know how sad I am to be giving up the best job in the world. But them's the breaks. I want to thank...
These are the breaks. Anyway, fascinating. Hello, Septus Wolf. So, that's all I got today. That's what I do that for. Here we go. All right, gang, that's all I got for today. Thanks for joining me today. I didn't do as many FTGs. I forget that I do the FTGs. I've been so lax on them lately. But anyway, before you go, just a reminder, all these things that I've showed you on the screen today, and all the articles and video and stuff, during the outro, in just a couple minutes here, I will add that to the outro in a single link in the second paragraph. So you want to go easily find some of these stories that we went through. I do that every day during the outro. We will update the outro. In the chat, I will notify you when it has been updated. And so that's that. Anyway, thanks for being here today at the Morning Night Live. I'm here at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. And please hit the like button if you haven't done so already, although it looks like everyone did. I appreciate that. And share the stream before, during, and after the stream, because you never know. Some people watch the replays. If you are watching on a replay, put a comment in the comment section so that I know you were here and I can say hi back, or at least put one of those little heart thingies on there. And if you want to sponsor this show 24 hours a day, you can go to pdognight.live with the Streamlabs link. You can put messages in there that I'll read on the show. Same with super chats during the show. Also a couple other options down in the description down below. So happy Thursday. I do need to go. Thanks for being here. My name is P Dog Knight. Don't forget, I'm going to update the second paragraph. And I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight. and I'm out of here.